What is going on, guys? We are talking Game of Thrones Season 7. We're back, baby. The King of the North. So there's going to be spoilers. And, this is like the Super Bowl of seasons at this point. Everybody's watching, everybody is seeing, everybody's discussing. So is there really any need for non-spoilers at this point? I gotta say, the premiere of Game of Thrones, The Tale of Two Maps, was good. You know, it was good. There were some great moments here and there. I think it was great. It's an episode where it's great to be back to Game of Thrones. It's more setup and what things to come than an overall just an impactful episode. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that are moving, that are going, and that's going to make a difference either next episode or a couple episodes down the line. First off, fucking Arya Finally, I said that with the faceless man, the training there, and then, who does that? Who, after being trained and knowing that they're going after you, and then she gets stabbed at one point, she's finally, at the end of last season, she's finally coming to become a little badass, where she kills Walter Frey, and then she disguises herself as Walter Frey in the beginning of this episode and kills all his men. And I didn't think about that, honestly. I didn't think about the men, and she just took them all out with that epic kind of like the speech that when she had the face of Walter Frey, and then them having a merry old time drinking the wine, and then I really did. I think Arya really killed it in this episode. Pun intended. Also, I think it was fantastic to see the Hound and those band of like brothers, so to speak, the Lord of Light in that whole aspect of it, and then the Hound seeing what they're seeing in that fire. I think that's very interesting. I absolutely love the Hound. He's always just so honest and like telling I can't remember his name, telling the guy who always comes back to life, like, you're a fucking cunt, man. Like, I don't know what's so special about you. You're not a special man. Like, I don't dislike you, but I don't like you. Like, he tells it how it is. It was sad. The one part where the Hound is burying, what was it, like the mom and her child, or the dad and her child, I think those are the people that the Hound and Arya, I think those are the people that the Hound and Arya, like, I think at one point they were fed and all that stuff. And so I think those are the people, but it was a nice touching scene, and it was great to see, like, the other guy kind of see the Hound as, yes, he's a brute, he's honest, he's an asshole, but there's a reason why. There's a reason why, of course, with the fire, his brother, his family history, but also just because this world is damned. The thing about this episode too, where Cersei and Jaime, in this episode, it really opened my eyes. I think Cersei is definitely going to die. She's going to die. Cersei's going to die. But I really believe that Jaime is going to die at the end of it all. I think he's going to bite the dust. At first, I didn't think he was going to, but there's something about the conversation with him and her, even though where he says, like, should I be, like, she says, are you afraid of me? And then he's like, should I be? Not necessarily think that Cersei's going to kill him, but I think Jaime's just going to bite the dust at the end of it all. And it's crazy how I hated Jaime in the very beginning of this whole shenanigans, this whole series, but I like Jaime, and I think he sees, just like what we all said, he sees the craziness that Cersei is doing. Like, she has enemies throughout. I really love also the canvas, how she explained, like how they explained all the enemies where they are, like, the North, the pretenders, over here we have this. Like, I really love that whole kind of landscape of the map of where that guy was painting, and her just like stepping on one piece of land to another and say, we have an enemy here, we have an enemy here, we have 3 allies. I really did love that whole scene. Jon was really great in this episode. I mean, him and Sansa seem to have a little rift here and there, especially when she's kind of questioning his the kids of the man who had Ramsay's side. Like, Jon knows that the White Walkers are more of a threat and that everybody needs to band together. He knows the North needs to band together. Where Sansa says, you need to punish. Sansa, I love the line where John's like, it seems like you admire Cersei. After Sansa was talking about Cersei in this episode. And that exactly sometimes how it is with Sansa, especially when she was kind of questioning Jon and his like not giving punishment to the kids of their parents who are kind of like went against them, the Starks. But he said, no, we need to band together. I love how he says we need not only, men and children who are boys, we also need girls. We need girls to take up arms. It cannot be divided. We must all unite. And when we all unite, means everybody needs to pick up and do their duty. So I love that aspect to it, especially, of course, him needing the dragon glass, needing that to fight the White Walkers. And of course Sam was going to the restricted zone to find out where they are, and it's at Dragonstone. And at first, I didn't know, I forgot Dragonstone, that's where Baratheon was, Stannis Baratheon was. And gotta give heads up to my girlfriend, she's the one that mentioned that, and I was like, no, but she's right, she's always right. Well, anyway, so it was crazy how Daenerys finally gets to Dragonstone, but that's where all the dragon glass is. Sam is either going to send word to Jon where it is, and that's how Jon and Daenerys come to meet. And I really do think there's going to be a relationship between those two, even though they're related. I mean, Targaryens always go with Targaryens, but I really think that's really a cool way how bringing those two together, those alliances, the Starks and Daenerys and her army, and that getting all the material they need for the White Walkers. Because man, when we saw those White Walkers in the beginning of this episode, I freaking the moment when I saw the Frost Giants, the giants being White Walkers, I was like, they're boned. They are boned. Everybody's boned. And then he saw the eye. It was great to see Bran again. Bran's getting a little bit older though. Everybody's gonna get older as time goes by. Well, I mean, there's so many great things in this episode, and so many great setups, especially with Daenerys getting into Dragonstone. Littlefinger playing his little scheme out. He's probably gonna get his ass whooped. Just a lot of things just really, really setting up for a lot of people, and especially Uncle Greyjoy, Uncle Greyjoy meeting Cersei and Jaime, and how he says he's going to present a present to Cersei, meaning maybe Daenerys' head or whatever. But, Uncle Greyjoy wants Daenerys too, so we'll see how it goes. But overall, it was a good episode. I really feel like it wasn't a fantastic season premiere. I think it was just a really good getting back into the soil. Like, it was good. That one image with Daenerys touching the sand, that's like us, touching the sand, like, we're back, baby. We're home. Like, I really love that. And then a perfect way to end it, her saying, well, let's get started, with the whole table and surrounded by pieces of, Tyrion with her. It's time to start planning, scheming. It's time to start strategy. It's time to start the war. It's time to start to finish everything off. And it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting. Everybody has a part to play. I think the only moment that was a little bit, why was this in here, was the Ed Sheeran cameo. I was like, what is that all about? Like, do I really need this cameo? What is going on here? Like, is it going to be betrayal, this and that? Like, you had an uneasy feeling on that moment. Some beautiful, beautiful imagery. I love Uncle Greyjoy's ships. They're octopus type like, and then even the front of it had it was the head and then it was the tentacles. Some of the designs in here were awesome. I really like Daenerys' new look too. Her kind of clothing that she's wearing. Jon's killing it, of course. Sansa is the one that really interests me. Where she's gonna go. She knows Littlefinger's schemes, but we'll see how that goes. Lady Marmont still killing it. I love this little girl. She's such a badass. She said she told one of the guys straight out, "Shut your mouth. I know when to defend the North. You don't need to speak for me." Like, that was hilarious. But overall, great episode. Great stuff. Cannot wait for what's to come. I'm gonna do a prediction video because I did see some things on the preview where I'm like, okay, this is where it's probably gonna head, and I'm gonna be talking a lot more videos of Game of Thrones when I have the time to get it out there. So thank you guys for listening. I'm Dan Making Dan's Son. You can find more of my YouTube videos on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and comment below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on tonight's episode. Did you love it? Did you think it was okay? I think it was a good, solid episode, but I didn't think it was anything like, oh my God, let me. Till next time, this is Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, the King of the North. I am in the North. See you guys later.